Kim, like, Bauman is next.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to reiterate or reinforce the comments that I'm really grateful to everybody from the public for speaking out and participating. I also
see, that's a lie. They're lying even about that. They're not happy about you being there.
So I'm grateful to the staff for all that's gone into the proposal that we're considering today. I just want to make two quick comments. First, overall, of course, this board is the steward of the agency's financial health, and we have to ensure that the system is healthy today and in the future. First, I want to have, please respect. Okay, I'm going to continue. My first comment is actually.
Yeah, just talk, okay? Let the audience be the audience. You talk. Stop expecting people to be polite to you when you're fucking them. All right? Just cut that shit out. You just talk. If they're screaming, you keep talking.
From a historical perspective.
As we would say as the bus driver, you just drive. You just drive. You don't pay attention to the mayhem. You're doing your job.
So you might know that TRIMET was formed in December of 1969. It was a public agency that took over a private bus system. At that time, the bus fare was 35 cents. If you go to the website for the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, you'll see that 35 cents in December 1969 had the same buying power that $2.82 does today. In other words, if you went to the grocery store in 1969 and spent 35 cents, that same item today would cost $2.82. So this proposed fare increase exactly aligns with that historical comparison. The ordinance simply keeps fares at the same level.
It's got nothing to do with it, okay? What?
Level that they were 50 years ago based on the purchasing power of the dollar. Consider.
I need to ask you to keep your comment.
No, you need to just keep talking and ignore the crowd. Keep talking. We can hear you. You've got the mic. They don't.
Down so that people, we can communicate.
I'm almost finished. So, the fare.
That point is not relevant because you got to look at the payroll tax increases. Okay, they're pretending like there's been no other revenue that's come in. Well, the payroll tax has been going up and up, up and up and up and up and up and up. Okay, look at the payroll tax. That's where we should be looking, not at the fares.
After this fare increase will be the same as it was in 1969. But consider.
Yeah, but we're in a goddamn disaster right now. 1969 was economic boom going on. Okay, it was a completely different era. I was alive. I was working. Okay, I remember 1960s. The two time periods have nothing to do with each other. It's a false equivalency.
Consider how different the transit system is now. In 1969, TriMet had 36 bus routes. Today, there are 85 routes. Today, TriMet has nearly 4 times more buses than it did in 1969. And of course, in 1969, there was no MAX system, which now has 5 lines.
Which actually ruined TriMet. The light rail is what ended TriMet ridership. People didn't want to use it. And you know why. You can see why. It's all coming to. It's very unreliable. It's unsafe. And it doesn't take you where you need to go, whereas the buses did. The buses took you where you needed to go.
96 stations and 145.
And if they didn't allow free parking at these MAX stations, nobody would be riding it.
5 rail cars. People who pay the full fare today are paying essentially the same as in 1969, but for much better service. Importantly, however, the 1969 fare system was much less equitable because everybody paid the same fare. There was no low-income fare, no honored citizen fare, and no fare capping. Everyone paid the equivalent of $2.82 for every ride. So that's the historical perspective. Here's a forward-looking perspective that's personal to me. This is my last board meeting, so allow me to be personal. I have two
Did you hear that? This is my last board meeting. And they go, thank God. It's great. God. Whoops. What did I do? Turn off the sound bite.
They don't drive. They are transit dependent. One lives in southeast Portland, one lives in Clackamas County. They are able to live independently because we have a robust transit system. They are transit dependent. They use transit to get to work, to get
Yeah, she's giving us the old sob story about, oh, my poor thing. My poor
to grocery shopping, and to go out with friends. Those close family members who are disabled and transit dependent will be riding TriMet long after I'm off this board. I want the system to be affordable for them, and I also want service to continue to grow. Like every transit-dependent person, my beloved family members need more frequent service. They need service to be expanded to areas where the population is growing and where job opportunities are expanding. This fare increase will support the continued expansion of service.
No. See, they all conveniently ignore the fact that the service has been cut. Not one of them has brought it up. Okay, not one of these people have brought up the fact that they've already cut the service 22%.
And due to fare capping, the cost to ride won't change at all for those who ride frequently. Those are my comments. Thank you.
All right, well, let me cut that one there because I want to do these individually.